Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. The Enterprise gets to play Space Uber to a Vulcan ambassador, but the Mazarites have plans to play Fast and the Furious Warp 5. Phlox gets our award for Best Actor, and T'Pol thinks the humans are getting sloppy and need to relieve tension at a little pleasure planet called Risa.
Nice to finally be back here after the vacation and Heather's mission, so I'm glad that went well. Oh wait, the light's on, so I gotta talk to you guys later. Thank you. Good day, everybody, and welcome to Starfleet Underground. Thank you for coming back to another wonderful, exciting, and of course, marvelous episode. My name is Captain Nathan Adams, and I'm here with our entire crew. Our science officer is back from her, air quotes, vacation that she took, that she first tried to sneak past me and not let me know that she was going on vacation, talking about, I'm going on a mission, I'm going on a mission, and then takes Quark with her, disguised as a foo-foo dog. So there was that.
Well, you'll be happy to know that when I got back, all of the tribbles were pissed, and they left little presents and little gifts all over the place into my shoes. They were mad.
As they should have.
It looked like little hairballs, so I didn't know they gave that. But it turns out, as I was explained to on DS9, that you did have an actual mission associated with your vacation. So I apologize for that. And as well as our computer person was out there at Starfleet headquarters because he had to bone up on some skills. Yes, I did say bone, and if you laughed, you're a kid, which means you shouldn't be listening to this. So get the fuck out the room.
No kids.
This is not for children.
Adults only.
So get out of here. Yes.
I haven't had a bone in a long time.
So we'll have to get a dot to bring you one.
Okay.
Okay, so let's continue on with here. So introducing is our science officer.
Oh, I already introduced myself. Hi, I'm Heather Ferris.
No, not really.
I'm the one that has to clean up all the triple shit.
And we have our computer person.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm the computer guy. I'm number 1, and I'm also the foreign species liaison. And I haven't had a bone in a long time.
And also the person that hardly ever gives me any grief or trouble. And he is the winner of the O'Brien Award. And we are quite proud of him because he makes us go.
I thought you were going to say who also has ever had a bone.
No, if you have one,
talk about needing
knocking
a bone.
stuff on the consoles.
Oh my God. I haven't had bone in so long. So long. An engineer is always busy working on things, fixing things. People break it all the time. We've got to do upgrades. And I'm not complaining because we like doing it, but you don't get a bone very often.
Well, the EMH told me that you shouldn't because it's in your medical records. Every time you get excited, you pass out from blood loss. Oh, the blood rushes to the other head.
You wake up in a couple minutes. It's only a little bit of snoring.
So
if you just push me off, I'll be fine.
No, Rocky, what he's saying is that your dick is so big that when you get a hard on, you pass out from blood loss to your brain.
I don't remember that. I don't remember that.
That's why you don't remember it, because of all the blood rush right to it. It's like, look, this is an Orion nude girl. What? Oh, boom. Oh, great. Somebody wake up, Rocky.
I don't remember that.
Of course. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And thank you. We're being brought to you by Section 31 as well as our Patreon people. So thanks again for joining our Patreon. And you may or may not be able to see the vacation pit we took in front of Starfleet headquarters. In fact, we're feeling really generous today. I think we'll put that out on social media so you can see all of us together right in front of Starfleet headquarters.
Well, not all of
that
us.
would be nice. Well,
Rocky,
not all of us.
Rocky had to stay with the ship. Someone had to stay with the ship.
I mean, I could be the one taking the photo.
Well, he did. So
it was remotely, but yeah.
He had one of those hover, what did they used to call them in Patrick's? Yeah, that's it. They call them drones in the 20th century. So he had one of those picture drones, which was really cool. So in fact, it was funny because he tried to buzz past Patrick's head. So that was nice. Okay, now we're going to continue on today since we got our main homework, which was our sponsors out of the way. We're going to bring you a little bit of trivia, news. However, for those of you that don't know, the word news actually came from all the information you can get from North, East, West, and South. And they eventually abbreviated to the word news. So we're going to bring you news. I know stunned silence. People are like, what? I can hear it. And the crowd goes wild. And so we're going to go with our news today.
I thought you said nudes and then I got erect and passed out. What happened?
That explained the thud I heard on the console. All right, let's get started. What do you got for us, Heather?
News, News, not Nudes.
Oh,
Sorry.
my God, my ears. What happened? Okay, go ahead.
So for news this week, we have to unfortunately start with some sad news. Lisa Baines, who guest starred as a Trill Dr. Reno in the Deep Space Nine episode Equilibrium, has unfortunately died recently from injuries sustained in a hit-and-run accident on June 4th.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's sad.
People who hit and run just suck.
Yeah, there's so many people in this world that suck, though. Not in the good way.
Oh, my God. That's because somebody's life is cut short way before its time. They didn't have to be.
Yeah.
Because somebody's driving distracted or not paying attention.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So,
Let's give a quick moment of silence for her.
And we're good.
Oh, so you're giving orders now? Here's one for you. You know those automated filters in the holodeck? I turned it off this week. Clean them for me. Okay. Go ahead, Heather.
And the last bit of news that I have is last week was Happy Captain Picard Day. So Captain, because we have Happy Captain's Day at the same time, roughly, for every ship, I just wanted to say Happy Captain Nathan Day.
Oh, thank you so much. That's really nice of you. That's way more nicer than Patrick's ever done. So thank you.
Yeah.
What a lame holiday.
No.
Oh, don't get me started on that, please.
We have balloons and confetti in the mess hall, as well as drinks, alcohol, and cake.
Are you sure that confetti's just not triple shit?
It is colorful.
I have one important question, Heather. Did you make the cake?
No, I swear.
Don't eat it.
I swear. I didn't.
Liar.
I'll be able to tell. I still remember those mushrooms you put in my coffee the other day. I was tripping
fun.
balls for like almost a solid 3 days.
That was really fun.
Yeah, for you. Any other news you got there for us? Is that it for you? Hello? Did we lose her?
Oh, you're talking to me. Yes,
Yeah.
That is all of the news that I have.
Okay, that means we're going to skip over to our new maintenance person for the holodeck filters, Patrick.
Anyway, so if you noticed, the second season Picard trailer was released, and it was filled with lots of good stuff. Oh my goodness.
It was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, it was. It gave me tingles.
When it opens, you see Picard coming in asking for Laris, and he's wearing an unfamiliar black uniform. And he's confused about what's going on, and all of a sudden he hears, "Excellent question, Jean-Luc. Oh dear, you are a bit older than I imagined."
That gave me tingles.
He turns around and it's Q!
Q is back.
He says Q. And the only way that Patrick Stewart can say Q, the first time he sees Q in years, and he's like, Q. It's just like, oh my God, he just says one damn letter, and it just, floored me.
Dude, I didn't even have to see him. I'm like, I hear the voice and I'm like, tingles.
Did you see the part where Jerry Ryan wakes up and
Yes.
she's confused?
Oh my God. She
Isn't
doesn't
that
have any implants
amazing?
on. Where is her? And then
Okay,
she's
so-
wearing a ring.
What do you guys think happened?
Well, we know she couldn't get married to Chakotay because we don't know anything about that being on the show.
No. About the whole thing, not just her ring. The whole time thing. Time is broken.
I think Hugh fractured time or something. Like he fucked up time and things like what?
Or what could have happened is that when Georgia went back, she went onto a timeline that wasn't supposed to exist, and that fractured it.
Oh, I hope they bring her back.
I think it was the Time Variant Authority, and they screwed something up with Loki, and then all of a sudden Picard is stuck in another timeline.
I agree. They went.
Thanks for jumping all over and around in my news segment. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome.
You got
You
news?
said you haven't had a bone in a while, so
dude,
people helping to jump in it for you.
I couldn't avoid it because Twitter just exploded that day, and all this thing, every one of these things were talked about.
Go ahead, Patrick. Finish up.
Anyway. Well, if you noticed at Starfleet headquarters, you see a younger looking Jean-Luc, and Rafi can also be seen on his right. The flags that are presented are the Klingon Empire, the Tellar, United Federation planets, Starfleet Academy, Vulcan, Bajor, and the Ferengi Alliance. But that should not indicate that Ferenginar, Bajor, or the Klingons have joined the Federation. And this possibly is taking place somewhere in the year 2399, because Picard is wearing a version of Starfleet uniform that was seen during a flashback in season 1.
Yeah. And also, did you notice too that the Starfleet insignia looked different?
And once again, Paramount and CBS combined together decides to make all cosplayers frustrated and rushing to their sewing machines to try to figure out how to make this new uniform variant.
Except if you want to do cosplay of 7. It's so much easier now. All you got to do is get this little ring. Yep. That's it. Just regular stuff and a ring.
And we see Soji too, but we don't know whether it's Soji or whether it's Daj.
Is it Daj? Oh.
It could be Daj, because if time is fractured, then Daj may be alive still.
Well, I will have to say, Patrick, you did an excellent job unpacking that little short teaser. There was a lot of info within that teaser. And if those of you who are listening to us didn't see the teaser, well, we just spoiled the shit out of it for you, didn't we? So go see it.
And season 2 is currently in production in Southern California.
Cool.
Oh, not in Canada this time.
Nope.
Nice.
Well, if you saw the new logo for
the poster,
Picard, with the freeways, that's LA.
Oh, really? I thought that was San Francisco, where the Starfleet Academy would be.
That's where Starfleet Academy is, but this is happening in LA, so this is really, really strange.
Ooh.
Well, part of it is because the issues that are contemporary, they perhaps have to go back to a contemporary Los Angeles to put things right.
It's going to be an interesting season. I can't wait for us to start reviewing that. So I know you don't hear this often, Patrick, but this time, marvelous job unpacking the trailer. That was chock full of info.
I hear that every night.
Yeah, but not from me. It's probably from one of the dots or the triple that you have with the mohawk. Next is Rocky. What do you got for us?
Okay, so I was hugging to Twitter entire week. Twitter was going nuts, and the trailer threw everybody crazy. And even we posted the picture of the poster, and some people thought it looked like EastEnders, which I think is a British show.
Yes.
So they went nuts over that. So that was kind of funny to watch that happen. I very much enjoy watching Twitter react to things because you just don't know what they're going to react to. And then, of course, oh my God, the ring thing happened, and that was just insane.
You put a ring on it?
I put well, there's a song, isn't there? You want to put a ring on it?
Did you put a ring on the upper one or the lower one?
Yeah, and it explains why you pass out. You got to remove the ring from the base.
Oh, I bet those are so fashionable.
The lower one. Yeah, you guys are talking about the lower one.
They're very fashionable, though. I mean,
yeah, I heard you get little knobs and spikes on them. So.
for her pleasure.
Yeah.
But so also on Twitter, the people making the Voyager documentary that we're expecting to see soon is shooting again in LA. They started up and they were showing us the behind the scenes of a shoot in a studio. And you saw in the background a very familiar looking arrangement. It looked like the holodeck on Voyager when it's not activated. So they had that background up for shooting things. And it looked like, so they're getting busy. Speaking of getting busy and not that kind of busy, Star Trek Prodigy released a whole bunch of images. And that was the second most, aside from the ring on 7, that was the second most important news story on Twitter. The images are out for Star Trek Prodigy, and they're looking phenomenal. The background images, they just showed some just with backgrounds, and they look gorgeous.
It does.
Are you talking about the worlds, the different worlds?
Yeah, all those different worlds. I mean, there's different worlds, and one had like a little city on it, and it looked gorgeous, wonderful. That is super exciting to see, and the people who make Star Trek Prodigy are tweeting back at people. So people will say, this looks awesome. And then they'll give you little tidbits of, a little information is like, so this is fun. This interactivity back and forth with the producers of the show. Let's see what else. I have.
Wait,
yes?
before we go on. So when Prodigy comes out, are we going to do Prodigy? Are we going to cover that?
Depends on how bad it is.
And also depends on where
Or
it
how
comes
good it
out.
is.
Because if it comes out and it's simul with Picard or
Yeah,
anything
we're doing
else,
Picard.
yeah, it's going to be difficult on that.
They wouldn't do it simultaneously, though. They know better.
No, I think they're going to have it all organized, so it'll be in between other
Like
things.
one right after the other.
I would think so.
Like where we had that, what was it, 28 weeks of...
Yeah, exactly. Where it was Picard, Lower Decks, and then Discovery.
Yeah, in that case, we definitely will.
Somebody on Twitter posted a guesstimation of what they think it's going to go, because we know Lower Decks is going to come out on a certain day, and they kind of hypothesized in the order of how many of the productions, how it's going to keep releasing, and they think it's going to be nonstop throughout, and that's very exciting. I don't think it's actually based on any real information, so I'm not specifically calling that out. But yeah, this is going to be a whole lot of fun. A lot more Star Trek coming at us, because now they got everything's in the pipeline, and we're sitting at the other end of the pipe going, okay, come on, baby, come on. But
I see something. Something.
It's glowing. It's glowing. I see a light.
I see the tip.
Yes.
I hear something.
So anyway, it's very exciting. And for Tig Notaro fans who are freaking out about Jett Reno, they're using as much of her as she can, because she's a busy woman. But in the next Discovery, we're going to see her. And she apparently says she's, in fact, I quote, "I've been told by Alex that they're not ever going to kill me. So Jett Reno forever."
And that's amazing, because she's really awesome.
That's
She's
a great
got
little news bit. Yeah.
Wonderful screen presence.
Lesbian engineers forever.
So,
Right on.
which is really cool, without a vest. So that works. My news of the week, for those of you out there who are gamers, especially on a mobile platform, there's a game out there called Star Trek Fleet Command. It is a free to play, but it is also, of course, where they have microtransitions, where all these games lately do to make money. But in order to celebrate Captain Picard's Day, a lot of people in the game, you have different characters you can have in there, like Kirk, Spock, and a bunch of Klingons, and a bunch of Romulans, a bunch of Orions and Independents, and as well as different versions of them. They decided to go ahead and celebrate Captain Picard's Day by introducing into the game, finally, people from the TNG episodes. So they have Captain Picard is now in the game as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Scopely announced that. So it's based on the TNG universe. So he was introduced along with Wesley Crusher. And Wesley Crusher actually has some pretty good abilities within the game as well.
The hell you say?
Yeah, so it was released with 2 promotional videos with a live action sequence between Jonathan Frakes, Brent Spiner, and LeVar Burton. And Data is in it as well. So it's going to be interest for those of you that play it. Enjoy. I've played it. I haven't unlocked Picard yet because it's a son of a gun to do it. But
Well, you play with yourself all the time, so...
The dogs do
it's
that.
always much more fun with a team player.
yeah, but who knows? But who knows my body better than me?
Ooh.
What are we talking about?
I saw the
Almost any tribble on the ship.
I thought we were talking about playing a video game.
I saw the video that you were talking about with all 3 of them. That was funny. Like, they did a good job with that. That was funny.
It was really, really funny. Almost as funny as you see Patrick sitting on his hand in the galley. He's like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "I'm waiting for my hand to fall asleep so I can play the stranger later in my quarters." And that's exactly how you sound when you get into it.
so stupid.
Thank you. And that's it for all of our news articles.
Actually, I got one more that I'm surprised that no one else even brought up.
Whoa.
Star Trek Strange New Worlds is in the middle of shooting its 8th episode.
Oh yeah, they're busy.
We said 7th last week.
Confirmed by... No, we didn't. Because this just came out 2 days ago.
They've been shooting nonstop. They're working.
Last week, Rocky said they were shooting the 7th episode.
I thought Heather said it.
One of us
Heather
said
said it last week.
But yeah, they're
episode.
posting things. They're also, if you follow the right people on Twitter, you're seeing little tidbits come out. And they're on number 8, and they're plowing through.
Because the director, Amanda Rowe, is like, she posted, she's like, in all capital letters, "This is not a drill. I am currently directing." Hashtag Star Trek, with like all these little emojis of her mind being blown.
And
it's
you
like,
get a little picture of the slate, the Strange New World slate. It's really cool behind the scenes. It doesn't show you anything behind the scene, but it's still cool.
But I'm loving the excitement that these directors
can you imagine how cool that is?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool nonetheless be doing any Star Trek today, but Strange New Worlds, the new one, that's the heavily anticipated one. That's like the show.
I would have to be wearing astronaut diapers every day because I would just be creaming my jeans.
Especially when you get Ensign Mount and Rebecca on stage.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of Rebecca, Nathan and I have a photo op with her in Vegas. Ha ha ha.
Ooh.
That's right.
And Saniqua.
And I will be wearing handcuffs in order to keep my hands to myself. So there's that. We got our news finally done. So our Lieutenant Commander, Ferris, you're up.
Hi, Captain. So this week's episode was Star Trek Enterprise Season 1, Episode 23, Fallen Hero. It first aired May 8th, 2002. Teaser, Pahrump of the Stars. During dinner, T'Pol bluntly asks Archer and Trip if they've been fucking enough lately since they seem to be frustrated and a little sloppy with their work. Or at least, spank it a couple times a day. This almost causes the death of the captain when he starts choking on his food. Excuse me? Enterprise has gone 10 months without a break, and they just need a little vacation time. T'Pol wants to take them to a brothel where they can relieve some tension. What's the brothel planet's name, you ask? Risa.
Woo!
Yay!
A brothel planet? What?
That's what she said. She said all of them are there to relieve tension. Well, they do that in fucking Pahrump. It's called a brothel.
Modern day brothel.
So Risa used to be a brothel planet, and then the hotel and entertainment industry took over, and that's when it became the Risa you saw in like the original series and Next Generation and that type of stuff.
You're saying there are parallels between Risa and
Las Vegas? Hell
Las
yeah.
Vegas. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The sun is always out over there. Or usually always out over there.
And
Sometimes
we have
it
palm
rains.
Trees and everything, but we don't have much water.
And in both places, you can get screwed.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
And you don't even have to have sex.
No.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yes.
It was really interesting watching these enlightened future people basically turn into schoolboys when she mentions relieve yourself.
Well, I wonder
funny.
what the actual phrasing because they cut it off, and I mean it started mid reaction. So she said the word and then it faded up, and so what exact phrase did T'Pol say to get?
Fuck.
They were
Have you been
humanoid.
fucking enough lately?
I don't know.
She probably said, because she said, when is the last time you diddled your reproductive tool?
Have you choked your
my
chicken lately,
God.
Captain?
Yeah, exactly.
And not all of them have gone 10 months without sex. Trip did get pregnant.
No, this is true.
Yeah, but it wasn't good.
Yeah, there was no sex involved in that.
Well, not human sex, but there was something. He got pregnant.
And I love the way T'Pol looked slightly annoyed when they ask her, well, you have to relieve any tension? And she's like, no, we do it 7 years between. And then Trip is like, that's a hell of a dry spell, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's
so
one
funny.
hell of a experience during the one time.
I'm serious.
It must last like a month.
Well, you figure
Wow, a
after
whole month.
7 years, after 7 years build up, it is just like,
Yeah.
wow.
Kaboom.
There's like these men, they're in a psych meeting, and they're asking them, the doctor says, well, how many times a year do you have sex? And one guy goes, oh, I have it at least 30 times a year. And they ask this other guy, how many times you do? And he goes, oh, I have it about 10 times a year. And the other guy, they ask him one more guy, and he says, how many times do you have it a year? And he goes, once a year. And he's dancing in his chair. And he goes, wait a minute. Why are you doing once a year and you're so happy? Everyone else has way more than you. So why are you so happy today? And he goes, because tonight's tonight. Tonight's tonight.
I like that.
Was that the actual punchline?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
God.
I was wondering was
punchline?
Heather actually laughing at the punchline or not.
That was so third grade. I mean, come on.
Well, fuck you.
Come on.
I liked it. Screw off.
It was a cute little, it's a little joke in case the kid's not going to listen.
Yeah. No, it's all right.
And come on, you mean you wouldn't be like that, Pat?
I think you need your tensions eased.
I tell you what, though, they were counting down the days. They're like 9 days away. 9 days to Risa.
And you know, they're going to have to wait 2 episodes before they finally get there.
I know, right? They're teasing us with Risa. You're like, okay, next week we're going to get to Risa. No!
Talk about Cunnis Interruptus.
Yeah, man.
Cunnis Interruptus.
And then when they finally get there, the hilarity ensues.
Don't tell me I haven't seen it. I haven't gone this far last time I watched this.
You never got to Risa?
No, I never got past like the end of the first season. I stopped like halfway through the first season because I was just...
We're still on the first season.
It's all new.
No, I mean before. Like this is the furthest I've seen it.
It's all new to Heather.
This is all new to me.
This is awesome.
It's been a long time.
Oh, don't sing it.
Getting from there to here.
Shut up.
But you made it. You're actually entering where no Heather has gone before.
There you go.
So, that's good. All right. I guess we could swing into the next scene.
No, you know, the teaser was probably the best part of the whole episode. Let's just talk about that for the rest of the episode.
You think it's all downhill from here?
It was so boring after that. That was the best part. That's why they had to put it in there. They're like, we have to put something funny in here.
Come on. You mean Tucker coming out in his Hawaiian shirt wasn't funny?
I've seen it at the conventions.
She's very familiar with Hawaiian shirts.
Okay, Act 1, Uber in space. Just as the crew is leaving to get the captain his happy ending massage, they get an inevitable call from their boss, who is famous for ruining vacation plans. Stop the fun. You have been called into work, and it's Uber. Welcome to hell. Enterprise must drive Miss Daisy because they're the fastest ship in the quadrant. Archer's blue balls grows by the second, but as soon as they pick up their passenger, they know that something's wrong. The first thing she did was try to shake their hand. What the fuck? A Vulcan never shakes hands. Villar continues to surprise them with her good nature, empathy, humor, and admission to guilt to, a crime. The High Councilman said that she was expelled for her abuse of her position and criminal misconduct after all. T'Pol seems depressed, and Archer finds out later that Villar used to be T'Pol's hero, and that hero has fallen from grace, hence the name of the episode. Archer and T'Pol are cold onto the bridge, and the High Councilman is back, demanding that they return Villar. When Archer tried to call his supervisor for confirmation, he finds that communications are jammed and they are being attacked, catching Enterprise totally off guard.
This smile the guy gave instantly made me mistrust him when he was on there. Oh, hi. We're just a little mistake. We're here to pick her back up. So why don't you just let her over?
You jumped ahead.
No, that happened though. I mean,
it was in this section.
Yeah,
Heather?
yeah. The High Councilman is back, demanding that they return.
Was it the same
Villar.
guy, or was the councilman different guy?
No, the councilman was a different person. It wasn't the person that released her. So it was a whole new different person, and he had that.
Oh,
oily,
it was a different person.
Yeah, the Mazarite High Council was the one they called them when they arrived, and they said, "Oh, she's already en route." Because Archer's like, "Where do we park? What's the coordinates? We want to take our shuttle pod down." And they're like, "Oh no, she's already en route." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, they're already en route. They're coming." So they're like, "Here, catch!" Before they even got a chance to say hi, just tosses Vulcan at them.
And T'Pol's disappointment in Villar was like, it was like someone cut a really bad stinky fart in the room.
Oh my God. That's exactly what it was. It was T'Pol could smell something funny all this episode. Even in Hoshi's quarters, it smelled bad.
It was really, and also she's disappointed because she gave this long list, like, don't touch her fucking hand, don't make her laugh, don't do this, don't smile here, don't do that. And she comes in and blows all of that away. She said, don't shake her hand, and she's shaking hands.
That was cool. That was cool.
The look on T'Pol's face when she extended her hand, she was like, "What the fuck are you doing, bitch?"
Right.
Well, that was great because T'Pol builds up this Vulcan like, okay, you're going to have some serious dignitary coming on board. It's going to be really,
she's gonna walk
really
on water.
Not cool and uncool. She can't talk. No laughing. She says no laughing in front of the ambassador. That's fucked up. But she shows up and this is Vulcan. She's like the life of the party almost. I mean, she's out there shaking hands and she's like, I like the humans and let's chat about this and that.
She's doing the butt.
She even got Trip stuttering. Like Trip was freaking stuttering.
She was she was playing jokes on Trip. I mean, she's like, you never ask a woman her age, and Trip's like, oh shit, did I just really fuck up? And it's like, nah, it's okay, I'm fucking with you.
They need to take her to the brothel planet.
Exactly. She wants to go party at Risa. That would be a good time.
And she low-level threw shade at T'Pol when T'Pol's talking to her Vulcan. Goes, no, I'd like to practice my English. So, and T'Pol's like, what the what? She has no idea. And then she's sitting there, and the ambassador could tell T'Pol was ticked because she's like, I think I've lost my appetite. So,
well, T'Pol was expecting like the ideal Vulcan in her mind. I mean, when she give out the no laughing in front of the Vulcan, she's like serious. She's like, this is a really serious deal. You're meeting a heavy duty person right here, and it's like meeting the president. Or like you walk into the room and it's a very dignified room, and the president's like, all, hey, what's up, bitches? Because you're not expecting that kind of response. It's a completely opposite response of what she's expecting. So
you've been expecting that from Obama.
But it would be like you going.
I wasn't going to make it political, damn it.
On vacation, it's like you're going on vacation with Ensign, with Captain Pike himself, and you finally get to Risa, and he sits there in a chair, he strips off his clothes, and goes, "Bring the little women. I want all the little women." That's not something you would expect.
That's just gross.
It is, like I said, unexpected.
No, I'm talking about the way you said that. That was just gross.
Well, that was intended to be gross.
I mean, now I feel like I have to take a shower.
Oh,
I got news for you. I walked past your room. Yeah, you should do that anyway.
Oh.
That's just the after smell from last night.
Oh, God.
Dang. That's disgusting.
Okay, that's funny.
Speaking of burns, Villar comments that she and T'Pol are like the oldest two people on the ship, and T'Pol's face when she said that.
I know.
It's probably true, though. I mean, Vulcans, you think she's a spring chicken, but T'Pol's not what you would call young.
No, she's like, what, in her
standards.
60s, 70s, something
At least,
like that?
yeah, she's up there.
Yeah, she was ticked.
Well, she can't be too much. I mean, maybe 50s or 60s, but because Villar's 94, so.
Okay.
Yeah, but she's still, the look on T'Pol's face is like, bitch, you did not just give away my age.
She's running a game on these guys. She's like, you don't know how old I am.
It's like T'Pol looks like she's in her 30s.
Yeah, that's so funny. In front of the guy I'm contemplating to do my 7-year with. So yeah, that was funny.
That's why she suggested Risa. It was coming up and she wanted to be on Risa when it happened.
I was going to say in dog years, that makes more sense. But
No, it always goes. You should always be careful of meeting your heroes, because not all the time heroes are what you put out in your mind to be.
Exactly.
And that's along with everything. Like even in the movie Bo Derek with 10, he lusted after this woman. We finally got her. It was like horrible experience. So,
okay, neither Rocky nor Heather probably know what 10 is.
I know of it. I haven't seen it.
I can tell they're really.
I'm just thinking of like the times I met the people that I thought were heroes, and I'm like, oh, you're a real dick. I don't like you anymore.
The space Uber, you really nailed the space Uber thing. I always love it. They're basically, it's like in a time before we had Uber, all they do is Uber.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. All they do is shuttle people around. They're Ubering.
Yeah, in Warcraft, we used to call that FedEx quests.
Yeah.
Because you're dropping stuff off and bringing stuff back. And basically, that's what it turned into. And I knew the guy was lying when he says, first, the guy tried to be all snarky. Well, I'm just a poor little starship captain, and they just told me to come and collect her. And Archer's like, yeah, all right, two can play that game.
Exactly.
I'm just a poor little starship captain.
I'm just following orders,
Following orders. Oh, shucks, I wish I could help you.
Oh,
but I gotta find out.
And then they start jamming their frequencies. I'm like, oh, wait a second.
Right off the bat.
That's what I was doing last night, jamming some frequencies.
Oh.
I believe you were.
So that's what that noise was.
What? Party on the dance floor.
And that's why he had all that frequency grease in his quarters. Okay. Let's go to the next section.
Aye, Captain. So next section, Act 2, Gossip Girls. Spaceships attack and Enterprise throws what she's got at them before jumping back into warp. Since that bought them a little time, Archer is going to investigate and see what's up. But with nothing to go on and, him not really being a Sherlock Holmes, he bluffs Phlox Valar, threatening to take her back to the High Council. But she doesn't tell him what's going on. She doesn't budge. Later, T'Pol tries to persuade her, but they end up talking about T'Pol's disappointment in her hero. Valar confirms to her that she was the one, and then comforts her and confides in T'Pol. And this is exactly what T'Pol needs to go back to the captain and request his help. Archer reluctantly agrees.
This section, I think, is probably the best section when it comes to relationships, because first off, finally the Enterprise shows it's got a little bit of teeth. They use the photon torpedoes, which they really wanted to use the torpedoes, and it's like nothing's working. So they use the phase cannons and they're able to stop the ship and they'd be able to get away.
But we had to drop out of warp.
Yeah.
You can't fire phasers while you're at warp? What the hell?
That's a design flaw, in my opinion. But they get there and T'Pol is like, you really pissed me off when you did all these things and you messed up. So why? And she has a heart to heart. She's like, I remember you, which T'Pol thought she didn't. Like, I remember you when you were a little girl. And this is what you said.
T'Pol was shocked.
Yeah.
She was shocked. It was really interesting watching that because, oh my God, you did remember. And it kind of, T'Pol's going through like some, she's getting like whipped around back and forth emotionally, which is difficult enough for a human to do, but a Vulcan, I mean, gosh.
She really was like thought for certain, but she also not only just remembered her, but she gave her kudos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, no.
She gave her cooties? What?
She
her.
asked her questions and you're like, no, I like the questions. I mean, yeah, you were a little bit of a bitch, but yeah, I liked your questions. They were good questions. So
yeah, she confided in her. She confirmed.
You made me reconsider things.
Exactly.
Well, I thought it was interesting that T'Pol went to bat for Archer.
Archer and T'Pol have a thing, and Valar definitely realizes this. Spoiler alert at the end of the episode. But you've got the captain and first officer thing going. It's a mutual respect between the two, and they have each other's back.
That last part of that section before it fades off to the next is when T'Pol went to Archer, and Archer's like, "I'm taking her back," and T'Pol's like, "No, look, I'm taking her back," and she pleads with him. Basically, it's like, I've never asked you for anything on this ship. I never told you people to wear underarm deodorant. I never told you guys to quit the smells. I never told you. And this is the one thing I'm finally asking you.
She used the magic word.
Please.
Please.
Yeah, she's like, I never asked you to change your blue underwear.
Nothing.
Archer got a really nice close-up in that scene. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I'm looking at going, wow, that's a really good close-up for him.
What, when he was petting his wiener?
Yep.
No, that was before she came in the room.
Oh, okay.
He was like, relieving tension.
That was like, no, that you meant the dog, right?
Oh, yeah, that too.
And Porthos isn't a wiener dog.
Yeah, well,
Is it Porthos or Porktos?
Jeez.
He's Porcos. He's porking away.
Oh, brother.
He's porking Porthos.
Okay, instead of his wiener, he was petting his dog. How about that?
That's better. His puppy dog. They were petting.
But you're right.
Cute.
That was a close-up. That was a really good close-up of his face because you can see the interplay of emotions across his face, and you can see him measure what she said.
Yeah.
And you can see. That's why I have to give respect to Scott Bakula as an actor because he's able to show those emotions clearly.
And you can see, Archer he does have that a little bit of arrogance that Archer has. But then again, he stopped and realized that his favorite Vulcan is asking him please for something. That means something.
Time.
Exactly.
For the first time.
That's like, this is a big moment right here. Pay attention.
Yeah.
And he'd rather do that than beat his beagle.
Right.
Yeah. After all the shit he's put her through, he could at least say yes to like one thing.
That's what he thought.
Yeah. And it took him a while. She had to really, get his attention, but he did. So,
and she was standing like danger close when she said it, when she asked.
That's because she was going to freaking wallop him if he said no.
Probably.
You never seen a Vulcan get violent. Well,
nerve pinch. Okay, let's see what I could do with you while you're unconscious.
Jeez.
Cybok and his disciples got violent.
And one of the quotes that Archer said in this segment was, "You're asking me to put the lives of everyone on board in jeopardy." And I'm like, oh my fucking God, do you do that on a fucking weekly basis?
Well, yeah, but it's one thing when you're doing it of your own volition. It's another thing when you're being space Uber. I mean, nobody said anything about getting shot at was, I think, the quote I got, because
Card chase.
Yeah, it's like we're just trying to take somebody over and we get shot. We're getting shot at about these guys. I'm like, what the fuck? You don't expect that kind of thing to happen. This person is not worth this effort. We're taking her back.
But T'Pol's like, if we take her back to Mazar, she's going to be killed. And he's like, by who? She's like, well, I don't know. He's like, well, I mean, you can't just throw out generalities, Yeah. I need more specifics.
He's got to have something to go on. He has to have something to go on. He's got to have a really good reason. And she does. And she says, please. And it's a really good reason. Seriously.
I'm not going to waste the lives of my crew because she peed on the floor. I need something more than that. I need
who
more.
Peed on what?
We're talking about, did Porthos do something in the scene was he cut out of?
Oh, I thought you were talking about a sex act.
Golden showers?
That's an elder Vulcan. It's an elder Vulcan, and we're talking about that.
Well, I guess it's golden shower on Earth.
She wasn't wearing her space diapers.
Elder Vulcans like to get freaky sometimes.
Maybe it's Vulcan showers rather than golden showers. So
Vulcan showers bring May flowers.
Oh, my God.
We went off on a tangent. Heather, please bring us back into the next section.
Wait. I wanted to talk about Tucker and Reed. They're walking through and they're saying,
that's right.
Go ahead. I think you really do enjoy the shooting part of things. I mean, the guys are like, I kind of do like the action. We're getting the shoot 'em up phaser fire in action. And they're like, this is kind of cool. We like to blow shit up.
But that's how Reed gets rid of tension. He shoots his load.
Yeah, he likes to shoot it.
Oh my.
And then they talked about the Nuvian masseuses having 12 fingers
that was
on
funny.
each hand.
It was totally a Bravo planet.
And so I'm like, oh God, I had to make this joke. 6 in the pink, 6 in the stink. What?
Wow.
I had to go there. It was like, really?
Wow.
And that was the only math I could come up with. I'm sure there's a lot much more creative math you could do with 12 fingers.
Your replicator rations for the week have been taken away.
What? Oh, come on.
I've reprogrammed the system. Your rations are gone for the week. That was horrible.
But with 12 fingers, no matter what they grab, it's going to look smaller.
Oh, yeah.
Smaller fingers make things look bigger.
So then they would need a microscope with you.
Oh.
So let's see. That's 1 week of holodeck cleaning.
Who's losing their rations?
Might be starving to death, but at least I don't have to clean the holodeck filters.
It's okay, I'll just get the dots to do it.
Is anything else that we have in this section before we can move on to the next?
I mean, when Valar was talking with Hoshi, I thought that was kind of cool.
That's right. I forgot about that part. Thanks, Rocky.
Because she's like really grateful. She wanted to meet the person that she's living in the quarters with. I always thought that was just so cool. She's very thankful.
It was. And I love the look Hoshi cut to Paul when she says, "Why is your quarters so Spartan?" And Hoshi's like, "I told you I should have left the picture there."
She's like, "Okay, bitch."
So, you got to leave a couple pieces of flare up, right?
So that was nice. And it looks like they were having a really cool bonding moment talking in Vulcan and looking out the window. So I thought the portal, it looked really cool. That was a nice moment.
And then she asks to Paul if she's tried iced tea. And then I started thinking about the OG original gangster iced tea.
That would have been wild.
and that joke just fell flat.
No, I'm just thinking every time you order iced tea, the replicator go right back to the underground. It starts singing some iced tea songs.
I am a nightmare walking, psychopath talking, king of the jungle, just gangsters stalking.
That would be
colorless.
Either that or it plays the SVU theme.
There you go.
Oh, wow. So every time somebody, we have to scan that planet. Dun, 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 dun.
Yep. Dum dum.
Okay, come.
Now we're way off. Let Heather bring us back now.
We've really destroyed this episode. Please, Heather.
Okay.
Help us, Heather. Help us, Heather. You're our only hope.
Moving on to Act 3, Fast Cars. The Enterprise and the High Councilman ship race through the galaxy at top speeds as they pray that there are no galactic cops around. They want to see how fast their vehicles can go. Take it to warp 5. I mean, if the speedometer says it could go that fast, then it must be able to. Fucking teenagers. Meanwhile, Valar admits that she was working undercover to expose the High Councilman's crimes, but they found out. They found the wire. Oops. And now they're trying to kill her. Unfortunately, Warp 5 is barely holding it together, and we are about to have a complete breakdown. And the Councilman ships are still catching up. Tag, you're it.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah.
Wait, what did you call me?
Bitch.
Said Fast and the Furious.
No, you said fag, you're it?
Oh,
No.
Tag.
Dang.
Tag.
We weren't talking about-
I wouldn't call you a fag. I'd call you a bitch.
We weren't talking about one of your orgies there.
We don't
Pat.
use that
So,
word unless we're talking about cigarettes.
Overseas across the pond.
Right.
But yeah, it was good. You figured an engine designed to go warp 5.
Hey, it says 5 on the
go
sticker.
warp 5.
We're going to
Thank
go
you.
warp 5.
Yeah, Warp 5 on paper, maybe.
And then why you get to 5 and the whole thing starts shimmying like it's got hair
It
curls.
may catch on fire, but it's going to make warp 5.
Yep, and the captain's saying, they're like, God damn it, does this thing have nitrous oxide?
Yeah, put Nas on it. I was just waiting for Merryweather when he's like, "We'll go ahead and put it at 5, but we'll shake her apart." And
Wait,
Archer's
what did you call him?
Merryweather.
I thought you said wary mother.
No, Merryweather. You know what the hell? You speak Nathan. Travis. When he turns around.
I am so glad I'm not the only one that butchers words here.
When he tells him, like, go to warp 5, but we'll shake her apart. And Archer should have said, then shake her apart then.
It's like, put the pedal to the metal, baby.
Yeah, it did. And stuff started shaking.
It started to shake. And then Valar comes aboard and he's like, what the fuck is going on? The ship's shaking. Oh my God, we're in a chase. I'm like, somebody put on a fucking seatbelt.
And they had to do some tension thing themselves. It's like warp 4.9, warp 4.97.
It's going. It's going. I got the floor. It's already to the floor. Oh, 497.6. Okay.
We made 5. Are we leaving them? No, they're catching up still.
Yeah. It's like, we've gone to plaid. Oh, they're still behind us.
It's like, damn it. Well, how far away from the Vulcan ship? We're still like 38 minutes out. Damn it.
We're not going to make it.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't.
We're just not going to make it quicker now.
No. And it's like, I can't. Well, could you send? No, everything is being jammed. The Valar's like, step over. I don't know, some old school shit.
I think that happens in the next section.
Well, she's like, oh, it's only 8 minutes until we reach them, and then they drop out of warp. And he's like, how long till they get here? And she's like, 10 minutes. He's like, wait, it was 8 minutes before. She's like, yeah, we were in warp.
We were in warp
which
5
actually,
then.
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot. No, I thought it was this section that Valar goes to Hoshi's terminal and puts out a.
No, that's next. I think that's the next part.
Is it?
Yeah, because this one ends and the shit's catching on fire and they're still gaining on us, and then it comes back to the.
And is this sections where the barbecue pits all light up, right?
Yeah. They got the barbecue going on in engineering. Oh, by the way, we're also going warp 5.
Oh, that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're on warp 5, and I expect this stuff to be dropping from the ceiling. There's fire going on.
It practically was. I mean, they could have been shoveling coal in that fucker.
Still, that would have been hysterical.
If Trip would have said, "I've given it all she's got," that would have just completely. Yeah, because that's what it was going, man. He was basically going, "I can't give it you anymore, Captain."
No.
They should have. They really should have.
The giant keg has too much pressure. We gotta relieve it. Yeah, it was. Yeah. They were trying, but again, at least for this episode, they did a sufficient buildup for tension on what was going to happen, because now there's not just one ship. Because of course,
Hence needing to go to Risa.
Yeah.
Well, definitely. Yeah, lots of tension build up for Risa.
And it's like, okay, you're able to beat one ship, but how about 3? And they got 3 of them coming at them.
Yeah, and the aliens can obviously go faster than warp 5.
But they were struggling also.
Yeah. that was cool because we find that out. It's like they're not the only one pushing as hard as they can go.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But they did it. They caught up.
Yeah, and they had to drop out of warp. And then it's like, okay, I got to delay this as long as possible. So let me ramble.
I guess Archer is basically like, that chase thing was something. No, does that thing got a Hemi?
Well, it's
Really?
like It's like if you get in an old-fashioned 20th century car and you're like, oh, look, the speedometer can go up to 260. Let's try it.
Oh, I remember seeing as a kid, that was one of the things he noticed right away. Oh, this one goes to 120. Oh, this one only goes up to 85. This one sucks.
Yeah, but even if it does go up like all that fast, you can't technically go all that fast.
Well, you can if you get the wind blowing the right direction.
It's like, what's under the hood? Is that a 2-barrel or 4-barrel carburetor? I bet you have a high-performance water pump in there, don't you?
I don't know, man. I just put the pedal down and it goes.
You know, come on. You got independent air suspensions in the back so you can take corners like you're on rails. Tell the truth. It's like, I have no idea. I'm not an engineer.
I'm sorry. It had the big giant screen on it said, danger to manifold. Warning.
Seriously. I don't know.
Who's going to fold what?
That's a horrible Fast and the Furious joke, by the way.
Yeah.
There's a scene in one of the first movies and they're doing the race and he's got the computer screen and it says, warning, danger to manifold. I mean, like the manifold is just the thing that the exhaust goes out to. It's not a big deal if there's anything. If that cracks, you're still going to be going fast. It's like,
you'll just sound like an explosion.
You definitely wouldn't be getting a computer warning saying this might have danger. It's like, no, your engine's going to fall apart before that happens.
Yeah. My manifold cracked one time and my little 80s.
One time.
My little 87 Nissan Pulsar, I think it was an 87 or 90. It was an 87. It sounded like it was a drag racer.
Yeah. It's just the exhaust comes out the wrong place. That's all that's happening. You're not going to pass smog, but it's not going to hurt your engine performance.
No.
But anyway, yeah. So that's stupid drag racing starships. I mean, that's kind of what this whole scene is.
Well, there is one thing I remember about the manifold being cracked. And so maybe that's why, because if the manifold cracked, that means it's no longer the hot exhaust air, which is coming out, also means that cold air from outside will go in, and that could possibly damage the engine.
We need to do a new reality series, RuPaul Drag Race Starships.
There you go.
That would be interesting. RuPaul
That would be something.
Captain Jerkoff. So that would be okay. Let's continue on in this section.
Yeah.
Rocky and I talked a lot about it. So Heather, what is your opinion on this section?
Oh, I'm not into car racing, so I'm like, oh yay, car racing. Next section.
You, Pat?
I'm not into car racing either, so.
But you're into fires being in your nether regions.
Oh.
And next section.
Okay, then.
Next section, Act 4, Bait and Switch. At Warp 5, their destination is 10 minutes away with the Vulcans headed in their direction. But none of that matters when their engines catch fire and the councilman shoots at their nanocell. And I probably screwed that one up too.
Nacelle.
Thank you. Totally crippling them. Enterprise drops out of warp, so Archer calls him and tries his classic stall tactic. The councilman just rolls his eyes and boards the ship, demanding to be taken to Villar. Archer guides them to sickbay, saying she was injured in the space fight, and when they arrive, Dr. Phlox tells them that she's in the CAT scan, and the councilman and his cronies pull out their guns and shoot up the CAT scan machine, going a little bit overboard on the bullets. Just then, our Vulcan friends arrive, and the councilman is taken into custody. But before they are taken off the ship, the councilman sees a healthy and very much alive Villar, who mentions that all of this is going to be going into her testimony.
Once again, they've done a little trick thing where they don't tell you what they're going to do to leave you guessing, which is like, go to sick bay, trust me, just trust me.
Yeah. And then when she gets there, like there's this Boimler type lower decks character, and they're like, okay, Boimler, you go in the CAT scan. Villar, you go in this closet. We got it covered.
We don't need to be coming out of closets anymore. Come on.
The storage closet?
I'm sorry. You guys are passing up the whole important thing right here. Phlox is a really good actor.
I was getting ready to say that.
Yeah.
I was getting ready to say that.
It was so awesome. He had so much drama. He's like, no!
Yeah. I was waiting for them to hand him an Oscar after that part.
Exactly. I was like, if you want to go to sick bay and pull some aliens, you just take and bring them to Phlox, and he'll just fucking poker face him out of the whole thing right there.
I thought that was his reaction to Heather calling the nacelle a nanocell.
Oh, come on.
I just butcher all words. That's just the way I am.
Just a little genealogical information for you. A nanocell is the grandmother to the nacelle.
Oh, wow.
That's
horrible. Don't pay attention. He's fucking with you. Don't pay attention to him.
You're off of food rations yourself. Yeah. But when he came in,
Oh, that was good.
but Phlox was appropriate. It's like, this is my sick bay. You don't do that. So
he's throwing down the law like he always does. Like he always does. He's like, not in my place. This is my house, motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Phlox is like, I will not take her out until this time.
You gotta recognize.
Seriously. And then you had the Sharon shows up, and the Sharon is like, it's time to play pinball.
Yeah.
I just like, why is the Enterprise shaking out of all of this going on? I mean, sure, the Vulcans shaking up shit on the other ships, but are they really parked that close to each other that they're getting shook too? I thought that was a little fishy.
Yeah, because there's no air in space, so there shouldn't have been any shock waves to move the Enterprise.
Yeah,
but,
so it must have been like it's that much more powerful than your regular starship because they just kind of show up and why is that vibrating? We're not going warp 5 anymore.
And for the first time, you actually appreciate the Vulcan snootiness. It's like, you need help down there. We just fucked up these people. Do you need us to fuck up some more?
Yeah, you need any help? Oh, yeah. So, by the way, we're going to destroy all these other ships unless you guys put your guns down. It's like, okay.
It's like, are you being bothered? I don't like it when you're being bothered.
It's better than being hot and bothered.
Well, that's true.
Once every 7 years.
And he had this bored Vulcan look. It is this bored Vulcan look.
Like,
he's like,
oh man, are you guys busy with? Okay, yeah, we can blow these guys up if you want, but we're just gonna be here.
And then Archer twists the knife. The Sharon is probably the most powerful of the Vulcan combat cruisers.
Do Vulcans have combat cruisers? I think that was funny. I think it was like, they're just science guys, but to an ordinary average Joe, that's a fucking combat cruiser.
Yeah, really.
Wouldn't it technically be the Romulan cruiser because the Romulans were the one that were fighters?
No.
Or am I thinking of that wrong?
No, you're connecting dots that aren't technically there.
Okay.
But that's why it sounds funny because a Romulan would have a combat cruiser.
Oh, hell yeah.
But the Vulcans, no, they don't. They're rocking around in their SUVs, but they're not using them as part of it. They're just utility vehicles. They don't sport around at all.
No,
they're only using the mom vans.
Yeah, the Vulcans have big minivans.
No, They usually show up and go, science!
Exactly.
So, which is cool. And I love the guys like, well, we did what we came here to do anyway. So we shot her. And then she's doing a little Playboy seduction fold right outside the door. It's like, hi, boys.
Exactly. Oh, too bad you didn't kill me, but I'm still here.
It's like, guess what? I'm adding this to the list.
It's like, you've been some bad boys.
It would have been better if she'd been like leaning up against the door jamb with her arm up overhead.
That would have
cool.
been funny. That would have been funny, but the look on their faces, and it was a nice little surprise because Phlox really sold that moment.
Yes, he did.
He really sold it. And I guess, I would have Archer like, well, who's going to fix that thing now?
Exactly. Like somebody's got to pay for that shit. You guys broke the door on the CAT scanner.
Well, my thing is when you saw the CAT scanner, it looked like there was a body in there and it looked like they were scanning. So who the fuck was in there?
It was just in test mode. There's nobody in there.
It was Nathan's mom.
No, I can see Phlox is like, I have the perfect screensaver for this.
Exactly.
I like that. That's perfect.
I mean, he could have put his bat in there, but then you'd see a picture of Batman.
I think you were right, though. I think that was a test thing that
he just did it on test mode, in simulator mode. So I mean, that's what you can never tell because he's got all the fun tricks in there. If you want to mess with people, you want to act like somebody's unconscious, hang on, I can put them under and we can talk about how close to death they are when they're just taking a nap. Phlox is like got all the tricks in his little sick bay.
Yeah, he's a low grade superhero of the Enterprise.
Big time.
There's a number of times he's pulled their asses out of the fire.
And he's also their best thespian.
Yes, he's so good at that.
True.
He's like, no.
Because if no one's in there, because I really thought someone was in there. I'm like, oh shit, they just killed Boimler or something,
If you guys didn't recognize the Mazarite captain, John Rubinstein, you might have recognized him from an episode of Voyager where he played a character called John Evansville. And he was also in 2 more episodes of Enterprise. He's a prolific actor.
Oh, cool.
No complaints about the acting. The acting was great.
Yeah,
I want to know, and I didn't get a chance to look this up, was the ambassador, what was she from?
She's been in other Star Trek things.
Oh, she has?
She is, and I'm going to butcher her name.
Finola Flanagan.
Thank you. And she previously appeared as Enina Tandor in Deep Space Nine, Dax and Julian Tenner in The Next Generation Inheritance, and that's it.
Okay, so she's been on Star Trek before. It's not her first Star Trek appearance.
She's been on The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Because she was so good as this Vulcan ambassador. I love
she was
just enough sauce, just enough sizzle to the Vulcanness that she stood out.
And she'll be back too. We'll see her again in other episodes of Enterprise.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Memory Alpha. I love it.
So I guess we have one more section and then we're done for this week.
Yes.
So, Heather, bring us home.
Aye, Captain. Act 5, End of a Vacation. The Vulcans allow the councilman and his crew to leave, but not without issuing a ticket with a massive fine and a court date. Valar thanks Archer and T'Pol and admits that she is totally jelly of their bond. This bodes well for the future of your people. Then Valar shakes Archer's hand, offers T'Pol a traditional Vulcan salute, and heads off into the sunset. Someday we shall meet again.
That was nice. She recognizes it, and even the T'Pol at this time and Archer doesn't recognize yet how close their relationship has gotten. And so she drops some Vulcan wisdom and observation skills on them both.
She's like, you too.
Yeah.
You too. Oh, you too. You're
She's
so
like,
good.
you guys are totally fucking, aren't you? You could tell me.
No, it's just a good thing that Whatchacall wasn't there, Tucker, because she would have outed him too.
She'd be like, oh, him. Ah, I see what you like in him.
It's like that human stares at your ass way too long. But it was definitely a nice little way to tie up everything.
And the ships looked really good in this episode.
Yeah, they did.
The effects, especially at the end, just a slow shot. It's one thing to do the action. It's a whole nother thing to do the slow across the screen shots in the ending right there. They look so good and detailed. I love the visual effects in Enterprise because they are modern CG quality effects usually compared to what you're used to.
As opposed to the beginning.
Yeah.
Yep. And it's a way different from the first episode till now. You can see how much technology's increased for special effects.
Yeah. And I mean, and they got the Vulcan ship look dialed in. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It looked very nice.
Okay, so I got a quick question for you. Trivia question. Do you guys know what this week's theme is for the acts, for the titles? And I'll give you a hint. It's someplace in America. So the first act was Pahrump of the Stars, Uber in Space, Gossip
Vegas.
Girls. Yep, you're right. You got it.
That's so cool. So that's why they...
Is Uber based out of Vegas?
So Pahrump is near Las Vegas. We have a shit ton of Ubers in Las Vegas. We have nothing but Gossip Girls in Las Vegas. We always have bait and switch scams in Las Vegas and End of Vacation.
Okay. So you're doing that aspect of it. I got it. Okay.
Cute.
It was really cool. Now everybody's waiting for this with bated breath. How many Heathers is this?
Jesus. Let's see. The teaser was the best part about this, and then the rest of it was like, oh my God, I can't wait for the next episode.
Oh, come on. You didn't like the Vulcan stuff? I like the Vulcan stuff.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't.
I mean, it is kind of weird that they hold back. And that part still bothers me a little bit about Enterprise is the Vulcans are kind of mischievous or devious. They're not straight up like you always think they are. They're holding something back on the humans all the time now. And that is disturbing to me as an old school Star Trek fan. But I think this episode, you can see there's reasonings behind that. They don't give all the knowledge out to the humans. So we got to hold stuff back. It's just kind of how it's like, you learn how the secrets of the universe work. You just don't tell anybody.
Well,
Yeah,
like Valar said, you guys just came out of 100-year, freaking war.
Yeah.
You're not ready for this shit.
Yeah. You're not ready for my jelly.
Yeah, I don't want you running around in my business all up in here stirring things up because that's what you're going to do, even though you have good intentions.
I give this episode a 3.5 because it got me really going in the teaser and I was really excited. And then it was a total turn off and letdown. And I just don't like, my sex like that. So.
And then she didn't get to go to Risa. So.
Yeah. There's nothing.
So how about you there, Rocky? What'd you think?
I actually like this one. I give it a 7.
A 7?
But you got to realize my scale is different than Heather's scale.
But it's good to have different opinions.
Yeah. And I kind of that, because Enterprise is, I mean, even in the theme song, when you look at the lyrics to the theme song, they're bitching about what the Vulcans have done to the humans. And it's like, come on, it's about this independence and going boldly, it's all about going boldly for Archer. And everything he does is going boldly, no matter whether he should or shouldn't. So, the Vulcans are like evil all of a sudden. It just doesn't rub me the right way. But this Vulcan,
they will on Risa.
Well, if you meet a Vulcan on Risa, somebody's getting rubbed the right way because it's in their database. This is the place to go get rubbed.
Hey, Captain, can we have a trip to Risa? We all need to be rubbed the right way.
I think that can be arranged.
Yes.
So we'll go ahead and do that. I just have to call ahead so they can take care of Patrick's special proclivities. So, Patrick, what do you think of this episode?
I probably give it like a 6 because I really enjoyed the interplay between Valar and T'Pol and the dynamic that they had.
I will have to agree with you. For me, it was the relationship building, and I would have normally gave it a 4, but I gave it a 6 because of Phlox's acting.
It was really good.
So,
I mean, Phlox is dynamic in this.
That one scene you should add 4 points on to whatever your score was to begin with.
It's like,
I mean, he really should have gotten the award handed to him right then and there. It was like, congratulations, that was great. I'd like to thank my lawyer and my mother and my agent and
seriously,
my prosthetics makeup department.
Oh yeah, you got to think of the Westmores.
It was really cool. And the bat who gave his life inside the CAT scan.
The bat scan.
So
oh God, did you guys see the Batman stuff on Twitter this week?
Oh, about Batman going down on Catwoman?
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was
way a lot of those.
If people weren't going ape shit over Captain Picard, it was all about Batman. and then the one person on Twitter, she was the one that made the list she rated all the tits from the males on Star Trek. Oh. She did that big list on Twitter a couple months back. It was hilarious. Can't remember her name, but she's fucking hilarious sometimes. And she completely rated on who would or would not and how well they would go down by Star Trek characters. And it was a legendary list.
Zack Snyder actually posted a picture of Batman going down on Catwoman and with the caption of canon.
There you go. That would answer that question.
Yep.
One of the funniest little memes I saw with that, they have Batman's, telling Catwoman, it's like, I know every nerve center in a male body. And she goes, and a woman's too. And Batman is just silent. And then her eyes get big. And a woman's too. So it was a cute week on Twitter.
It was a lot of fun. It's summertime now, so the weather's getting nicer and people are coming out.
Summertime and the living is easy.
And people are coming out and, socializing, which we haven't done in a couple of years, which is kind of cool too.
Yeah, speaking of easy,
yes?
What's our next episode, Pat?
Next week is season 1, episode 24. We only have 3 more left out of this season.
Yay!
It's called Desert Crossing. And the Enterprise is, for the second time, on its way to Risa when, yet again, another urgent matter comes up. A distress call. It comes from a small vessel. The owner, Zabral, is extremely happy with the help from Enterprise and invites Captain Archer to their homeworld for a good meal and a game of Gascana. When Archer and Trip have landed on the desert planet, Enterprise gets a message from the Tothorian Chancellor, Trillit. He says Zabral isn't as nice a man as Captain Archer thinks, and in this one we see a shirtless Archer.
Ooh. So Patrick's going to be very happy next week.
Yikes. So it wasn't the Admiral Buzzkill this time. It was somebody else. So just, it's modern day mentality. Just don't answer your phone. You'll get the rice a lot quicker if you don't answer your phone.
It's just kind of frustrating because you're all excited to go to this pleasure planet and then everywhere you look is a speed bump keeping you from getting there.
And the actor playing Zabral is Clancy Brown.
Oh, he's nice. He's a good actor.
He's a really
played
good
the Kurgan in Highlander, for those of you that don't know. And he was also the drill instructor in Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
Put your hand on that wall.
Oh, I got to be watching for this now because I loved his work in Starship Troopers.
He was in Thor Ragnarok. He's in the Amazon animated series Invincible. Yeah, the dude's just been in he was in SpongeBob, the movie.
He just have this unique voice in Highlander. I have something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade underway. So it was an excellent episode. We're now reached the end of our transmission here. Thanks everyone for joining, and thank you, Dom, and all the regulars that show up for our premiere. Don't forget, you can find us on starfleetunderground.com. It's Starfleet Under G on Twitter, and we're also on Facebook. And if you want to listen to us, all you got to do, if you have an iPhone, is say, Siri, play the latest episode of Starfleet Underground. Or you can turn around and go, Alexa, play the latest episode of Starfleet Underground, and you'll get our episodes. So I think I just turned mine on.
I think you just turned on everybody's stuff.
Yeah.
So that's it.
About the only thing you can turn on.
Yeah, 3 weeks now with the holodeck filters. Thanks everybody for joining us. And remember, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
And if you can, support the show by going to patreon.com/Starfleet Underground. Lots of perks to choose from, and you might even like some of them. Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.